It's no secret that my job's a little bit weird. Yes, I used to work at Twitch and I did software dev there for a while, but it's been years since then. I went to a startup for a bit and was supposed to be front end, but ended up working on everything from the mobile apps to the back end for about 4 to 5 months, and then left and kind of started my own thing. Specifically, since Ping started back at the end of 2021, I haven't had a traditional job. I originally started Ping because I saw so many tools creators needed that weren't being created, and I missed working on tools for creators. So I started Ping to make it easier to bring guests into your live streams, and it blew up fast. Faster than I ever could have expected. And then I got into Y Combinator, so things accelerated even further. The result was chaos. On top of that, I felt like I didn't understand the needs of creators enough, and I missed having my Slack channel full of talented engineers I could talk to every day at Twitch. So I started streaming on Twitch and making YouTube videos after that, both to better understand what creators needed, but also to make up for this hole in my heart of just talking about and nerding out about these technologies. As a result of the channel's explosion, I've had to change both what I do at my job at Ping, as well as how I position myself in the industry as a whole. The creator market, to be frank, kind of sucked to work in, and we had more and more problems that we saw other developers suffering with every day, which is why we went in the dev tools direction. Our first dev tool was Webhook Thing, built to make it easier to run webhooks locally. I'm still really proud of the project. We recently open sourced it. You can find it at webhookthing.com, but it didn't have the splash we were hoping. And honestly, the problem it solved was small enough that I didn't see myself even using it too often. Something I did really want to solve, though, was S3. I was so tired of S3 being the only reason I was opening AWS and dealing with all the IAM rules and weird pre-sign rules and just trying to get a URL to my users so they could upload a file was way more tedious and annoying than it ever should have been. And that's why we started Upload Thing, originally as an internal tool that I built just to see if I could make it work. And as quickly became the theme of my life, I build something to prove it works, and then Mark goes and makes it actually work. So that's kind of what my role has transitioned into day-to-day code and career-wise. I get to spend most of my time either on like greenfield tasks or really, really deep technical overhauls of core functions. And then I leave the mess behind and trust my team of Mark and Julius to clean up after me. And I'm weirdly lucky to be in that position. So to better break this into parts, I kind of have 3 jobs right now. Job 1 is the content, the stream, the YouTube, the management of the channel, and everything we're doing there. And it honestly is pretty much a full-time gig. I like to say that Wednesday is my content day and I do most of my content stuff there, but at least an hour or 2 is spent every day looking at analytics, planning videos, making thumbnails, structuring things, and just keeping the content moving. I also want to do more stuff with the content, both on the channel itself, as well as outside of it, be it making courses or working with other creators to help them find more success in the space. I genuinely love community, content, media, and perception and everything around branding and identity. So I spend a lot of my time on that. Job 2 is CEO of Ping. Ping is both the video product, ping.gg, as well as the dev tools that we're building like Upload Thing, Webhook Thing, etc. I still spend a lot of time just dealing with random business tasks and, more importantly, debugging the issues users have and trying to deeply understand what is and isn't working. Mark still does almost all of the work technically there. In between him and Julius, I only would get in the way if I was spending more time coding. That said, when there's a hard enough or weird enough problem, they'll often pull me in and I get to help figure out how to solve those. And I love that. I love that my time on code is not spent dealing with all the weird, tedious like version mismatches and things. And it's rather spent on weird, deep technical problems like how do we keep this component from flickering when it renders? I love that my weirdly deep understanding of all the technology we use and rely on helps me find clever solutions to tough problems. And I don't even have to build the solution. I can show the solution and then the team goes and builds it. It's the most I felt like a technical lead in my entire career of technical leadership, where I'm just helping steer us in the right direction and the team does all of the work there. And I could not do either the content or the company thing if it wasn't for how hard that team works to keep us afloat. But here's that weird third thing that's more and more becoming my job. I don't know if I want to call it advisory or investing or somewhere between, but spending a lot more of my time helping other companies better understand their products, their position in the market, and how to reach users in a more meaningful way. Be it talking to companies in the recent Y Combinator batch, be it investing through my scout position at Anderson Horowitz, which I'm so lucky to have. Be it just generally talking to other CEOs and people in the space, or consulting with the channel sponsors and helping them better understand what my audience is looking for and what they need to do to better be recognized by that audience. I spend a lot of my time thinking about how users and companies relate to each other And that role's kind of DevRel. So I have this weird third job that is somewhere between advisory, investor, and DevRel. And it's a really fun place to be. Honestly, any one of these roles could be a full-time gig by itself, but thanks to my crippling ADHD, I constantly hop between the three. And I've honestly never been more satisfied. There's something special about getting bored with the specific thing you're focused on and knowing you can take a step back, everything will be fine, and you can channel your energy into something tangential to it. It's been great. I also feel like all three of these things feed into each other. Like if the channel does well, that positions upload thing in ping better. If upload thing does well or has outages, there's content I can make about that. There's companies I can talk to and work with about this as well. I feel like I'm in this really lucky position where all of the stuff I do feeds into each other and I get to spend my time making awesome things. And I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for all of you. And I really want to thank you for that opportunity because I could never have imagined all of my, to be frank, worst tendencies feeding into each other in such a healthy, powerful way. And I'm really proud of the stuff we can do now, be it the team of people I have helping run the channel, the incredible team of engineers I have running Ping, or the awesome companies and CEOs, advisors, my friends at Anderson Horowitz, my friends at Y Combinator, and everyone in between that lets me keep my hands in so many different pots, even outside of my immediate dev circles. I'm incredibly fortunate and think it's important to take the time to acknowledge how much I love my jobs, all three of them, and the incredible opportunities that they give me. How about you? What is your job? Are you self-employed? Are you working at a company? I want to better understand what my community does for a living. And I do actually plan on doing a survey in the near future. So keep an eye out for that because I would love to see how my community does things as a whole. I've learned a ton from you, and I hope you've learned a ton from me. If you want to learn more about growth and how I got in this position in the first place, I'll pin a video in the corner. It's one of my personal favorites, all about growing and goal setting as an engineer. If you've already seen that or you're not interested, there's a video below it that YouTube seems to think you're going to like. Appreciate y'all a ton. As always, thank you so much for this awesome opportunity. See you in the next one. Peace, nerds.